Rachel, I'm about to unveil my Super Bowl tiers. It's going to make a certain fan base very
I'm
upset.
worried. I'm not going to lie. I've seen these tiers. I'm a little worried about you.
So it's funny. Rachel is very caught off guard, and she's wearing Chiefs red, I believe, today on purpose. She was caught off guard yesterday by the Chiefs in the meeting and like laughing, and I was like, "Oh, yeah, Rachel, nice." And then today, when I unveiled my tiers, she was really caught off guard. So listen, Bruce
Taylor
Feldman.
Swift red, by the way.
Taylor
just pointing
Swift
it out.
Apologies, yes. So Bruce Feldman, my guy, he's coming up in 5 minutes talking about, college football. Notre Dame, Miami. We need to talk a little more about that. Anyways, let me do my Super Bowl tiers. All right, folks, here we go. So we have 4 tiers of the teams that can win the Super Bowl. And let's get started, shall we? All right, tier number 1, faux show, for sure. These teams are the elite, the best of the best. Baltimore Ravens, no doubt about it, need no explanation. Josh Allen's Buffalo Bills, the Philadelphia Eagles, the defending Super Bowl champs. I don't need to explain those 3. Now, the Niners, some people are going to be surprised by. I'm just going to, let's be obvious. Don't read too much into what happened last season. They were a mash unit, and I know the wide receiver room has some issues currently. They're going to be fine, okay? This is a schedule-based prediction. That's why they're Super Bowl contenders. I also like the move bringing back Robert Saleh. Go look at the quarterbacks they face this year, guys. It is a cakewalk. They should be fine. I think they'll probably get the number 1 or 2 seed in the NFC. The 49ers should be in the for sure Super Bowl contender list. All right, let's go to the second tier. A little larger, a little more robust. The Green Bay Packers. Yes, I have the Packers in the for real category, joined by the Atlanta Falcons. I don't mind revealing when I was in Vegas last week, I bet the Falcons to win the division and, yes, win the NFC. A bit of a flyer. The offensive line injuries has me concerned right now, but nevertheless, Denver Broncos in the for real category. That defense should be the best in the league, and I think the Nix-Payton combo is much better than I thought. L.A. Rams, 4th in the for real category. They probably could get bumped up to 1 now that Stafford's fine, but as Rachel noted, the left tackle situation, some cause for concern. And I'm going to put the Bengals here because Burrow's not going to stop chucking and ducking. He is just going to keep throwing to keep the Bengals in every game. And I do believe offense should keep them in the Super Bowl contending category. Let's go to the third tier of Super Bowl contenders. Hey, there they are.
Here we go.
For now, the Kansas City Chiefs are a Super Bowl contender. Yes, I have them missing the playoffs. Yes, the tackles are an issue. I don't care how good the Ohio State kids looked in practice. It's a long season, folks. The running back situation is dicey. Travis Kelce, I'm not going to use the washed word. Oops, I just did. I think he'll be okay, but let's see. It's a full season and the playoffs. And then, of course, the defense. I mean, Jalen Hurts just put a number on him in the Super Bowl, and you look at that tape of that, and you're like, oh, there's holes all over the place. I have Detroit in 4 now. I also have them missing the playoffs. I know that's going to make people upset. Washington in the 4 now. As we talked about yesterday, Rachel noted the defense is very old, has a lot of questions. I think the offense keeps them in games. And I'm going to have the Chargers here. I really like the Chargers. They're a bit more sleeper now that Slater's out for the season. Let's go to the final category. Super Bowl contenders. For your consideration, the Arizona Cardinals. I have them in the playoffs. Houston Texans, I just don't love them. They got entire new offensive line. Yes, the defense will keep them in games. Yes, the division's But that offensive line has me really nervous. I have Jacksonville here. They're my surprise team in the AFC. I think that offense isn't going to rival the Bengals, but I think it's going to be very, very good. And, oh, my gosh, this can't be real. And then finally, for your consideration, the Minnesota Vikings. Yes, I'm buying J.J. McCarthy. And listen, we have a great show today, and I'm going to start by talking about a list. And as a guy who ran a website for close to a decade, I know a good list. Give me a mock draft, right? There's a good list for you. Top sports movies of all time. Everybody loves a list. It gets people going. It gets them fired up. It gets the engagement going, right? So we had a couple dueling lists this week about the NFL, and wouldn't you know it, my main man, Jalen Hurts, was disrespected on both of them, okay? The Super Bowl MVP, who was phenomenal in throttling Kansas City. He scored 3 touchdowns in that game. I know the defense had one, and Mahomes was on his back most of the night. Travis Kelce was on a milk carton. But Jalen Hurts, let's remember, was outstanding in that game. And on these lists that emerged this week, one of them over at ESPN, their top 100, they claim it is based on expectations for the 2025 season. Whatever that is. Maybe they broke out the crystal ball, predicting potential greatness. So Patrick Mahomes is at the top of that list. He's coming off the worst season of his career, but sure, Patrick Mahomes won. I don't think anybody has beef. But Jalen Hurts checked in at 38? What? That's, folks, 6 spots lower than he was last year. So he has a great year. And as the article notes, he had 15 touchdown passes and 10 rushing touchdowns or more, right? For the 4th straight season. Nobody's ever done that in NFL history. Josh Allen is working on 2, okay? That's how good Jalen Hurts has been. Folks, the fact that he's 38 on this list, it annoyed me a little bit. And then you go into Eagles message boards. I spent like 8 minutes that I cannot have back on Eagles message boards. They're really angry about this. But the disrespect of Hurts, I think I have an answer as to why. But I'm looking at this list, and I see some guys that are on there, okay. You know, Derek Stingley, and we're going to bring him up twice. It's not a knock. He's a really good cornerback. Better than Jalen Hurts at quarterback? I mean, folks, Hurts has been in now 2 Super Bowls already. He's, I think, the best dual-threat quarterback the league has ever seen. And if you want to go Lamar Jackson, I'm not going to fight you, okay? I get it. Lamar's got an MVP. But Jalen Hurts has the single most unstoppable move in professional football, and that's short yardage. You know, you can have the Lamar Jackson highlights, but give me the Jalen Hurts automatic 1-yard carry for the first down every time he needs it. I mean, goal line situations, just go ask Josh Allen if he could use that, right? It failed miserably against Kansas City. So that's one list where Hurts was disrespected. Then comes the NFL.com list, where they haven't actually announced number 1. That's coming on September 1st. But wouldn't you know it, Jalen Hurts checks in at 19 on that list. Best players in the NFL. Behind Derek Stingley. Derek Stingley. Better have a good season in Houston. Now, he's ahead of Jaden Daniels on that list, but he's only 18th. So just a reminder, Super Bowl MVP. He's done historic stuff on the ground and through the air the last 4 years, and he's not even a top 10 player. I look at movies. I love going to the movies, love watching movies, love rewatching movies. You win an Oscar, it doesn't get any better than that in movies. TV, you win an Emmy, you're at the top of your game. In the NFL, where the Super Bowl is the most watched television event every single year, you could be the MVP of the game, the best player in the game, and it doesn't even crack top 10 in the NFL in the next season. And I tried to figure out why that is, and I'm drilling down, and somebody said something smart in our meeting. Every morning, somebody says something smart, but he's boring. And that's I keep coming back to it. It's like, okay, Jalen Hurts carries a briefcase to games. He does not offer any bulletin board material for folks. You know, Josh Allen had, I think, the single 2 greatest plays in the NFL last year. That touchdown run against the Chiefs to seal the victory in the regular season. And then he had the hook and ladder in the snow with phenomenal touchdown. But Jalen Hurts doesn't have those. He'll have like a 20-yard scramble that's fun. And he'll have a million brotherly shoves. But that's not sexy. Lamar Jackson dancing, running for his life. That's fascinating. Patrick Mahomes, unbelievable throws down the field. Hurts doesn't have that. He's not swagged out. You know, he shows up with a business suit on and the briefcase. Meanwhile, you've got Joe Burrow walking the runway in Paris wearing wacky outfits that, oh, man, that's going to go viral. Look what Joe Burrow's wearing. And Hurts is just boring and dull, and that doesn't register on these lists. It's so weird how disrespected not only Hurts is, but the Eagles. Do you guys remember last year's offseason tune? Can the Chiefs three-peat? That was the big storyline all off. Oh, the Chiefs, they're a juggernaut. They got a three-peat. Have you heard anything about the Eagles running it back? I looked, guys. They're returning 10 of 11 starters on offense, okay? On that top 100 list for ESPN, they had the most players on the list with 10. Saquon Barkley, yeah, back, healthy. Why aren't we talking about Eagles building a potential dynasty? Go, if you want a fun exercise, Pro Football Focus lists the age of all the players and their grades. The Eagles have to have the most amount of best young players in the league. They are stacked because they draft really well. They've got a potential dynasty, and nobody's talking about the Eagles running it back. I hear a lot of, this is finally the year for the Lions. Or, boy, the Rams. Cowherd loves the Rams. Hey, Matt Stafford, they add Devontae Adams. Everybody's all excited because they added a wide receiver. Okay, nice move. I think we're sleeping on the Eagles, who are in as good of shape to build something real spicy in Philly as we've seen since the Kansas City Chiefs. Now let's move on to a quarterback we know a little less about, and that's Arch Manning. Obviously, the huge Texas-Ohio State game Saturday here on Fox. Going to kick off the season with, I don't know, probably one of the most anticipated games we've seen in college football in a while, because it's really the hard launch of Arch Manning. And I said something on the show yesterday that I didn't even realize at the time it was mildly controversial, but I got a text from a buddy who graduated from Texas, and he's on text chains. Can you believe JMAC's asking this? And I asked our guest, Jeff Schwartz, I said, you know, is Arch Manning good? Do we know if he's good? Here's what Jeff Schwartz said about that.
I don't think we know if he's good yet, and that's okay. He's thrown 100 passes in college football. There are certainly people that evaluate quarterbacks who think he's very good, and they are the traits there that he has shown at certain times that are high-level traits. He has made big throws. He's made big runs. They put him into games and situations where you think to yourself, maybe I'm surprised he's in this, you know, in that spot. He's shown those abilities. Now, of course, it's different when teams have watched film on you all year, when teams have seen you play 4, 5, 6 games, when you're on the road with new offensive linemen. The potential's all there. I think it's too early to say yes or no. People already mocking him to be at the top of the draft. I know that's not the be-all, end-all, but there's certainly a lot of talent there. He has to live up to it now when he gets to play on Saturday.
Yeah, so essentially what Jeff is saying is we don't know if Arch Manning, it's fun to mock him, number one, because, you know, Peyton and Eli and the family, the football's first family, if you will. We just don't know. And during that interview with Schwartz, I said, Jeff, I'm looking at the box score from the SEC championship game and then the playoff games against Clemson and Ohio State. Arch threw 0 passes. None. He carried 5 times for 13 yards. I know they love Quinn Ewers, and Quinn Ewers was a really good college football quarterback. He also was drafted in the 7th round, if you're keeping track. If Arch is so good, you couldn't have put in a passing package for the guy? The defense knows, oh, he is a running quarterback. So maybe throw in a wrinkle? And all these highlights you see, again, it's against like UTSA, Colorado State. I don't want to say they're hiding Arch, but I do have some mild concerns. Well, what are we waiting for here? Now, on some level, I respect that the Texas folks and the Manning family has decided, you know what? We're going to do things differently. Everybody wants to play now. Everybody wants their NIL money now. True freshmen, they want to play immediately. If you're not playing me, I'm out, right? I get this question every year around April, May from college kids who are going to be graduating, and they send me messages on Instagram. Hey, JMAC, man, you have the best job ever. I'm not lying. I kind of do. How do I get where you are, but faster? How do I get there like soon, like on TV talking about sports? And I'm like, yeah, it took me 20 years to be an overnight success. So good luck. Just instantly jumping into talking about sports on TV. And they don't seem to get it. Everybody wants it now. And of course, college freshmen, they want it now. The Manning family, a little bit different. They said, you know what? We're old school. We're not going to rush into anything. This is his 3rd year on campus. Like, he's been there for a while. Remember, Trevor Lawrence came to Clemson, starting as a true freshman, was awesome. I don't know if I'm not taking a shot at the kid. I just don't know. Could he be great? Yeah, he certainly could. Do I hope he's interesting? Hell yeah. College football could use it. Here's Arch Manning yesterday on Texas being everyone's target.
I think that's all of us at Texas, and I think we kind of try to shift the narrative. We're going for everyone else. Target's not on our back. We have the red dot on everyone else. And this is what I've been waiting for. Spent 2 years not playing, so might as well go have some fun, right? I always have to remind myself it's not all about me. It's the whole team, and you know we got to play the situations well. not give them short fields and take care of the ball. So it's going to be a fun one.
He's saying all the right things. And again, I'm fascinated by this. I cannot wait to watch. Part of me wonders, and the part of me that wonders is the gambling part. Again, I was in Vegas last week. I did lay it. I think Ohio State smashes them this weekend. Now the line's going the wrong way against me, so that's not great. But I think a lot of that is Texas hype, and people are excited for Arch. Like someone said yesterday, he is the favorite to win the Heisman. They're the #1 team in the country, and they're one of the favorites to win the national championship. That is a lot of pressure on a guy who's been on campus for 3 years and has barely played football. He's thrown on, I just looked this up, a total of 95 passes in 2 seasons. Oh, man, little nervous for Arch Manning, but it should be a great game Saturday on Fox. And oh, by the way, if you don't think this is a massive game, take a look at what's outside the studios here at Fox in Los Angeles ahead of Texas, Ohio State. That is a billboard. That's probably the size of like 5 cars. I mean, it's massive. And it's hyping a game that's happening in Ohio Saturday. This is in Los Angeles. So listen, folks, I know Rachel's excited about this game. I certainly am fired up because we've been hearing about Arch Manning for a while. I'm a little nervous for the kid. I think my guess is it goes sideways. They lose 34-13 or something. And then the pressure's off Arch, and he rebounds. His next 3 games are cupcakes. But your early read on Arch, how do you think he'll fare this weekend?
Well, look, I think what you're saying about them playing the long game as a family is the thing you have to remember even week to week, even this Saturday, even the next week, even the next week. They see this. Look at the careers that Peyton had. Look at the career that Eli had. They see this as a decade-and-a-half longer project, right? So 1 game this weekend, 1 more year at Texas. There's been talk of him staying not just this season, but next season at Texas. I mean, that the family has said that. So they are looking at this as the longest of long games. I think if this weekend doesn't go the way that he would like it to go, and I agree with you, I think, no team has gone into Ohio State and won since 2021. If your name is not the Michigan Wolverines, that's it. Nobody else has done it. So I don't see Texas pulling it off this weekend for all of the reasons we've been talking about for the last week or so. But again, to this family, this is just like a pittance, right? They are looking at this as a multi-decade plus project. And so you're seeing this tiny, tiny steps of progression. And that's on purpose.
Yeah, you got to walk before you can run, I think they say. All right, coming up next, we're going to stay in Ohio